What is good listening? Everybody's like, I'm a good listener. I hear what you're saying. Like, but what is good listening?
I think the problem is often with, especially newer financial planners, is you're so worried about demonstrating your goodness, or you're selling yourself so much that you're trying to become an expert on a person before you've learned enough to be an
Mm,
expert in their life. You know what I mean? And so I think listening is being able to put aside any prejudgment of what I need to say or what I need to demonstrate or what do I need to prove, and being able to truly hear and want to know more. Like, we use a term in therapy a lot called the not knowing stance, whereas like I have met 60 people who overspent, but you're the 61st person who overspent, and your reasons, your motivations, what you overspent on may be different than those other 60s, and I'm curious to understand you, not put you in that bucket of the others.
I love that becoming an expert before you hear, because I think every advisor, especially new advisors and planners, they go in with like a script of like this. And so they're thinking before they're thinking about what to say before they actually hear what the person has to tell them. And so I'm
Yeah.
curious, like this gets into like presence and like being truly in the conversation. What are some of those like tactics, or how can individuals catch themselves from that and be more present in the conversation, and kind of overcome that curse of knowledge or that preconceived judgment or whatever it may be that tends to happen?
Yeah, I know. I think everybody has to come up with their own tricks, but I'm a talker, as you probably can guess. But something that helped me with clients is I once read this study that the best therapy sessions are where the therapist talked the least.
Mm.
And it struck me, they measured all these different things, but it was how quiet the therapist was that really stuck with me. And so I try to let silence happen in conversations with clients. I try to be patient and ask questions. I try to remember that, and I'll do some grounding activities, like where I'll mindfully say, let me ground myself, let me make sure I'm not over caffeinated or anxious or tired or any of those reasons that cause me to like word vomit or just pressure talk, and make sure those are kind of addressed beforehand. And really, like, for listeners who want to get into this world but don't want to be a therapist, I think the best advice I have is kind of based on that, is that idea of like, get to know yourself first, get to know your own personality attributes that lead to your financial decision making, or your own money beliefs, or your own family history around money and how that shaped you. And the more that you can become self-aware of the biases or assumptions that you hold, the better you will be at recognizing when they come up with clients.